Welcome back to a new episode of Coach's Corner, this time Boys Tennis Edition. I'm Jake Lancer with Danny Lynch for HWTV, and today we're joined by varsity boys tennis coach Bo Hardt. The Wolverines are in the middle of Mission League play, gearing up for another Open Division playoff run.
Before we get into the details about players and games, can you just give a little information about yourself, how long you've been working at Harvard Westlake, and so on?
This is my 13th season, or maybe 12th. I started off as a hitter with the boys team, and then I was moved up to assistant for about 7 or 8 seasons, and this is my 4th year, or 5th, I should know this stuff, after taking over for Chris Simpson as program head.
And then before your time at Harvard Westlake, what was your involvement in the sport of tennis?
I started playing at Samo High in high school, just messing around a bit. And I fell in love with the game when I was, 19, 20. Started training seriously in my early 20s. Found a coach. I guess I became addicted to it. Trained at a very high level, still competing. Train every summer, play 3-4 hours a day. I love tennis. I'm a tennis freak.
The team recently dominated rival Loyola, winning 16-2. What was your message to the team going into those matches?
Our message was this year they think they have a chance to beat us. I have a buddy who's an assistant coach on the team who specifically said, "Hey, I think this is our year," to which I said, "Okay, we'll see about that." So I told the boys, "Hey, they think they're going to get us this year, so let's show them what's up." And I think we did.
Yeah, they certainly did not.
16-2.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of dominance, I feel like you've been dominant throughout this season, and I just want to ask, what do you think contributes to that? I mean, this is a very young team. It's very different from the past few years. So
I think we're young, but we're extremely talented. I think top to bottom, in a lineup we have 12 spots, 3 singles and 3 doubles teams. I think in positions maybe 2 to the bottom of doubles, we're the strongest team probably in the country. Our third guy in doubles can realistically in practice beat our number 1 singles guy. So our depth is crazy. I think that when we went to Texas, we dominated at the lower spots because we are so evenly balanced, which is fantastic. We sub guys and we don't lose a beat. We sub guys in the third round, we don't lose a beat. We beat 2 quality teams making subs after the first round, which is unheard of. So I think it's our depth and just our overall talent that's our strength.
And how does having senior leaders like Andrew Arco and Paul Kurgan help the younger players out?
It's critical. Over the years, I've found that the captain is an extremely important role in the team. They're kind of my mouthpiece and the coach's mouthpiece to the team. They set the tone for practice. If they're messing around, the team messes around. If they're about the business, the rest of the team is about the business. The younger guys see, they might not want to admit it, but they look up to the senior leaders. So it's important. And Paul and Andrew, Josh, Max, all of our seniors are really good about going about the work.
Speaking of younger players, freshman Tane Rice, tremendous season so far, undefeated up to this point. How has his game developed over the past couple of months?
Tane, with younger players, they tend to improve, and then suddenly make a leap. You see it more in the younger ones than the older ones. And I think Tane is in the middle of one of those leaps, growing into his body and playing a little smarter. I think the team camaraderie and joy in practice has really helped his tennis. I knew he was going to be good from the moment I met him and going into 7th grade, but I didn't know it would happen so quick. 'Cause he's playing really well.
What's one thing, whether on the court or off the court, that you've really been preaching and prioritizing to this team? whether it's a value or something, fundamental piece?
I think a big thing this year is accountability within yourself, holding yourself responsible for what you do, no excuses, putting in the work yourself. Coaches, we can't teach hard work. I think the boys are excellent about that. It's one of the hardest working teams I've ever had. The biggest thing is just get better every single day. And I know that's very cliche and you hear it every time, but I expect the boys to get better every single day at something, fitness, strokes, brain, anything like that. That's just how it is. There's no other way for us to go about it.
Yeah, this team is very dynamic and talented in both singles and doubles. What do you think that says about the future of this team?
I think we're set up for a ton of success in the coming years. I think this year, if one of our guys can make a leap to another level, I think we have a very, very good chance at upsetting some of the top teams who have a lot of the top players in the state. We have a lot of young players, not even including the middle school as well. We have a ton of good young players coming up. I think the future is tremendous, and we have the potential to win multiple CIF Opens in the next few years.
You mentioned earlier the trip to Texas, finished in 5th place overall. How did that trip really serve not only as a bonding opportunity for, some of the older and the younger guys to sort of come together, but just great practice and opportunity against some of the best teams in the nation?
I think just to be invited to that tournament is special because it's a national invitational. Whenever the boys get on a plane, it's special for them. It's great for bonding. We had a ton of hilarious moments in the Suburban, driving around San Antonio on the weird freeways, going to restaurants, lots of laughs, lots of jokes. On the tennis side, we were the 5 seed, I believe. The top 3 teams were pretty loaded. We competed against the top school and had a pretty hard defeat, couple match points and some sets. It's the 3rd set tiebreak. Tough losses that, they can go either way. A team can fold or a team can bounce back. So the next day we had a match at 8 a.m. It's 50 degrees. It's windy. It's cold. We're in the consolation division, which is, you want to be at the top site in the top division. But we came back the next day and smoked the next 2 teams. I think 5-0 and 5-1. And that showed a ton about this team. Just the resilience, their fire, their passion for the game. Because frankly, that first match in the morning was awful. It was windy, freezing. We thought it'd be 80 degrees, but it was 45. And they were playing in pants, beanies, sweaters. It was miserable, but our guys stepped up. Stepped up and smacked some Texas teams. So it was a really proud moment as a coach.
Where does that resiliency, you think, come from, that drive to be great?
It's hard to say. I think ever since I got to the school, the Harvard Westlake athlete has had that drive and that toughness, the passion for the game. I like to think that it's from me because they know I'm a tennis freak, and our coaches are all tennis freaks. And they seem to love it. I think if you love what you do, you're just going to push at it no matter what happens.
Yep.
I want to move on and talk about how you have great duos with Colin Kennedy and Andrew Kurgan, but also you talked about how you can sub in and out all these guys and how you move around teams all the time. What do you think that says about the chemistry of this team?
I think it says a lot. I think it's with doubles, I think chemistry is a critical part of a doubles team, a successful doubles team. If the guys don't like each other, it's not going to work. If they don't respect each other, it really isn't going to work. I think as ferocious as our practices are, we almost had a fist fight in one. I think the boys all respect each other a lot, even if they don't say it. There's a lot of jokes and stuff, but I think the boys genuinely like each other, and that really helps with the teams.
Also, I just want to, I mean, this is tracking back to talking about younger players. I think you have 7 freshmen rostered right now. And I just want to ask, what players and young guys should we be looking out for in the future?
I think we have 5 freshmen now because 2 of them bounced the team. All of them, Cyrus, Nikhil, Max, obviously Tane. I think I'm forgetting one. Young Israelian, Andrew. All of them have the potential to play college and be a force as soon as next year. It's going to be tough competition because we're only losing 4 guys, and our team is huge. But those guys are talented. Those are guys I've had since they were small, and helped train them and help build them. And they're hungry and they're talented. And I mean, we're really excited about the future.
One of the really interesting things about the game of tennis, in my opinion, compared to other sports, is that it's an individual sport, but then, the team, everyone sort of works as a unit as well to win the match or competition that day against another school overall. How have you sort of managed prioritizing seniors, but then also giving some of the younger guys opportunities to go against some of the best guys on other squads? How have you sort of worked around like matchups, I guess?
Mm-hmm. The detriment and the beauty of our league is that we dominate relatively comfortably. So after a round or so, seniors come out, freshmen come in. So playing time is never really an issue. I think most schools don't have the ability to do that. Most schools don't even have enough players to do that. But for us to be able to come in and keep the level high is pretty nuts. It is tough managing because it is individual. Every player needs individual attention with their own skill set. So tennis is unique in that sense where you have to train the whole team, but all of them individually. So, it's something that I've had to figure out over the years.
And then lastly, we've talked about a couple different guys on this squad. Is there anyone that we didn't mention that we should really be looking out for as the season progresses?
That's tough. I remember answering this last year, and I was like, damn, I left out a bunch of dudes. So I don't want to say specific names, like the sophomore group, Ryder, Nickel, Oria, Stubman. Anyone is capable of exploding at any moment, and that is going to be critical for us to win another Open Championship. Because for us, it's Open Championship, Regional Championship, National Tournament Championship, or bust. Well, for us, it's no season is a failure, but if we don't get those results, we're not too happy. But it could be anyone. Literally anyone on this team could explode at any moment, and that's what I'm hoping for, and I think will happen.
That's great to hear.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck to you guys. I'm Danny Lynch with Jake Lancer. We'll see you next time on Coach's Corner. Enjoy the game.